Hello everyone, and welcome back. Today, I'm bringing you a milestone in the love story of Diep and CEO James. A story that has weathered storms of misunderstanding, trials that nearly tore them apart, and moments when their faith in each other was tested to the very limit. At last, their long journey has blossomed into what many thought might never happen. A wedding both grand and intimate, not only uniting two hearts but also weaving in the tender laughter of little Nee, the child who now completes their family. A wedding of hearts, not just rituals. The hall was alive with joy. Laughter blended with music, and blessings floated in the air like invisible petals. When Diep appeared in her gown of pure white, walking steadily toward James, it was not merely a scene of beauty, it was proof. Proof that patience, trust, and unwavering love can triumph over even the deepest wounds. Hand in hand, they walked the aisle. Yet what truly moved everyone present was not the sparkle of jewels or the grandeur of ceremony. It was their decision to give Nee a home, a name, and parents who would never let her feel alone again. Her innocent smile, radiant, unguarded, lit the hall brighter than any chandelier. A home of laughter and promise. After the ceremony, the three moved into their new house. But this was no ordinary house. Every corner was filled with intention. Walls ready to hold the sound of children's laughter, a kitchen where warmth would rise not just from soup but from shared stories, a garden waiting to become the backdrop of countless afternoons together. This home was not just shelter, it was a declaration of faith in a shared tomorrow. The hard-won adoption. James's path to making Nee legally his daughter was anything but simple. He knocked on the doors of law offices, sat in stark police stations, and pleaded his case at local committees until the papers were stamped in deep red ink. That stamp was more than bureaucracy, it was the seal of a new life. When Diep held those papers, her hands trembled. Overwhelmed, she hugged Nee tightly, tears streaming yet never dimming her smile. She feared, for a fleeting moment, that the child might vanish if she loosened her embrace. But Nee's laughter, innocent, bubbling like spring water, reassured her. This was no dream. It was real. James stood silently, watching mother and daughter. Relief, pride, and love welled in his eyes. This was the family he had always longed for, the proposal that changed everything. In that quiet moment, James knelt before them both. Diep, startled, met his tear-filled gaze. From his pocket, he drew out a velvet box with trembling hands. Diep, his voice cracked, each word heavy with sincerity, "Will you marry me, and raise Nee with me for the rest of our lives?" The room fell silent. Diep's tears returned, but this time they were luminous with certainty. She nodded, firmly, resolutely. No words were needed. Her eyes spoke all. Nee squealed with joy, dancing like a little bird. Now I have a mom and a dad, she cried. That laughter, sacred and pure, seemed to bless the moment better than any prayer. A festival for the village. The wedding day itself was nothing short of a village festival. Lanterns swung in the breeze, drums and music carried through the streets, and guests arrived from near and far. Elderly relatives wiped tears of joy, while children giggled, running between tables, curious about everything. Diep's walk toward James was both shy and proud. A bouquet of daisies and roses trembled in her hands. James, waiting in a sharp black suit, looked at her as if the whole world had shrunk to the single figure approaching him. When rings were exchanged, tears mixed with smiles, and the courtyard erupted in applause. Confetti rained, drums thundered, and Nee scattered rose petals in her tiny princess dress, her voice ringing out, "Mommy, Daddy, be happy forever." The house beside the grapefruit garden. Their new home stood modest yet radiant beside a fragrant grapefruit orchard. A red tiled roof gleamed under the sun, a bougainvillea trellis spilled blossoms like a curtain, and inside, each room bore the mark of Diep's careful touch. Most special of all was Nee's room, painted in pastel pink, filled with soft curtains, stuffed animals, and a tiny desk awaiting her first notebooks. When she saw it, Nee rushed about in delight, then hugged her parents, whispering, "I have my own room, and I have a mom and dad, too." James embraced them both. For the first time in his life, he felt whole. Their first family meal. That evening, they cooked their very first meal together. James clumsily washed vegetables, splashing water everywhere to Nee's amusement. Diep guided him with patience, laughter echoing through the kitchen. At the table, Nee declared, "Our family meal is the most delicious in the world." And in that moment, it truly was. A rhythm of love and everyday life. Days in the new home unfolded like verses of a quiet poem. Mornings began with simple breakfasts, chicken porridge, boiled eggs, or warm baguettes James bought at dawn. Afternoons were spent tending the garden together, laughter mingling with birdsong. Evenings saw them on the porch, telling stories under moonlight, with Nee's laughter drifting into the night air. Weekends brought small adventures, harvesting papayas, picking melons, strolling the village market. Each moment, ordinary yet unforgettable, wove their shared life into a tapestry of simple joys. A harbor of happiness. After all the storms, they had found their harbor. A young woman scarred but resilient. A businessman once lonely and hardened. an orphaned child yearning for love. Now, they were a family, bound by compassion, healed by love, and blessed with hope. Their small house was more than wood and stone. It was a sanctuary where every petal, every breeze seemed to whisper, "This is home." The journey ahead will bring new trials. But with trust, love, and the laughter of a little girl to guide them, Diep and James will continue to write chapters of happiness, together. Thank you for watching and sharing in this journey. Every blessing you leave for this small family is a priceless gift, giving them strength to move forward. Don't forget to subscribe, and join us in the next episode, where even more surprises await.